I wanted it to find out all the information about that website it could. Number of visitors per month, demographic details, and most importantly, the sites people went to before they went to that one, and the sites they went to after they left it. With this information, I could discover who was sending these guys all that money, and where all those people with the money were coming from. And that is exactly what happened. Over the next several days, my brute force program had spied on and gathered very specific details about several websites that would hopefully tell me where the money was. Once I began to pour into the data, however, I was kind of disappointed with the initial results. You see, most of these guys, it was kind of shocking. They were making a ton of money, yeah, but they were making it through creating and selling how-to stuff, info products. And sure, they had fancy screenshots from PayPal on their site showing off their earnings. It's just that the only way they were making their cash was by creating these products and then cross-promoting one another, which is fine, I guess. But unless you're in their circle and have the time and cash to create your own product, it's pretty pointless to even try that. There was one site, one guy, however. His data stood out amongst all the others. This guy was getting more traffic to his site than all the others combined, all from just a few sources, and the sources I had never heard of before. He was crushing it. I mean, blistering levels of traffic that were nearly incomprehensible. So I turned my attention to him and him alone. I began to focus only on what he was doing. What were his sites? Where was his money? And what I discovered from this was that there were a select group of super affiliates generating unheard of levels of traffic from sources nobody else even knew about. And they were banking hard just through selling other people's products. And they weren't getting paid by PayPal. They weren't waiting for checks to arrive in the mail or clear their banks. They were getting wire transfers sent directly to their banks. Electronic cash, instantly available. And so much of it that they probably couldn't spend it in a lifetime if they wanted to. I had found the money, and now I just needed to make it come to me automatically. My stealth software had unearthed a playground for wealthy super affiliates. They were getting server-crushing levels of traffic from a handful of sources and cashing in on other people's products to the tune of millions of dollars a month. These traffic sources, nobody else even knew they existed. And with them, you can unleash unlimited, unending amounts of traffic with just a few clicks. Now that I had this intel, I needed to develop the software that would harness this traffic and literally bring me the money automatically. First, it was time to spec this beast out. And yes, it was a beast just to create the specs. After all, this wouldn't be just some simple program. No, this software would be my own cash magnet. And it would be complicated to build, but it needed to be easy to use, and it needed to automate it all. For days, I worked on specs alone. I worked on it every waking moment and poured my soul into it, as this just might be my life's masterpiece. When I was finally done, it looked like something out of an atlas, which is appropriate, I guess, since it was a map to money. I needed a team of power coders, and I knew I could only find them at The Den. I knew I needed a team of hardcore power coders, coders that could take my vision and make it a tangible reality. I was in Silicon Valley, ground zero to the world's hotbed of elite programmers, hackers, and coders. But the real coders, the power guys, they weren't out in plain sight. You couldn't just yellow page or Google these dudes. They were hidden. They kept to themselves. And they could only be found through a place called The Den. I tapped into some contacts who knew people that knew people from The Den. Yeah, it was one of those types of deals. You had to know people that know people, etc., etc. Finally, after weeks of backroom introductions, I got this text message on my iPhone from one of the best underground coders in the area. Him and his little entourage could work magic with software. It was on. $20,000 for the crew that could make the impossible my reality. Don't ask me how I got it. I'm not proud of it. I had to do a lot of begging and borrowing to make it happen. But I delivered the money to the coders, the power coders that were about to make the impossible my new reality. Along with the money, I gave them my requirements. The software had to create money-sucking web pages on the fly. It had to funnel my new traffic sources into only the profitable web pages, and then extract the cash profit, all automatically and easily without breaking any laws. And of course, I needed it to be so easy to implement that it could all be done in under half an hour. So, I waited. Out of the blue, up pops a message on IRC, the preferred messenger service of geeks, hackers, and power coders. It was done. I got set to meet the coders on Friday and see my new software, and I was so excited I couldn't sleep for the next couple of days. Finally, Friday rolls around, and I get to our meeting place to pick up my new program. I walk in, and the head of the crew hands me $5,000 in cash and says, "Here's $5K back. It's a little less than what we made testing the software this week." My jaw hit the floor. $5,000 in a week of playing around? I handed it back to him. "Keep it. You earned it." I grabbed the disk with my new software and sped home. Of course, I loaded it up, installed it, flicked the switch on my traffic sources, and set it to begin extracting money. I set it to run for a week. I promised myself I wouldn't keep checking on it. I would just let it do what it was supposed to do, extract cash profits. So for a week, I did everything I could to stay away from the house and my computer. Finally, 7 days after I launched the software, I finally logged in to see what had happened. Fingers crossed and double crossed. And there it was, a nice fat wire to my bank account for over $8,400. Yes! I had sent a wire straight to my bank account for over $8,400 in instantly spendable cash. This is more money than I would make in several months with my old job. And since this was just the first week, I knew I had to throttle things up a bit. This time, I set the software to run for 2 weeks and I let it roll. So I did just that. And 2 weeks later, I logged into my accounts again, and there was another $18,500 wire transfer straight to my account. Now things were getting good. So I did this over and over again, making tweaks, adding twists, implementing tactics, and the results just kept getting better and better. 4-figure weekly wires, 5-figure weekly wires. My software just kept bringing me more and more money. I had accomplished what I set out to do. At one time, I was the guy that created software for PayPal to keep money from people. And now, well, I had created software that brought it in, and brought it in by the thousands or the tens of thousands of dollars. And all of it automatically, without a list, without a product, without even a website of my own. To siege is to conquer, and this new money-sucking software would be called Profit Siege, and with it you will conquer. Yes, with this software and my exact methods for turning these unknown traffic wells into cash at the flip of a switch, instantly spendable cash that is deposited straight to your bank, you can conquer it all. You can have it all. Money, freedom, time to do whatever you please, whenever you please. This vast well of opportunity will only grow bigger. The Profit Siege system and software works for you. You don't need to become a desk jockey and waste away your days at the computer. Install it, set it up, turn it on, and it takes it from there. And this is an untapped gold mine that will never become overmined. It cannot get overrun by too many people. In fact, it's only going to get bigger and bigger. You can only make more and more money. Like it did for Vinny, who came to me flat broke and needing money desperately just before Christmas. I felt bad, so I told him, "I'll help you make $5K this week." Vinny took the software and my methods, and he made over $6,100. The cash was in his bank later that week. Now, as you might imagine, Vinny has a new lease on life, and he makes money whenever he wants to, as much as he wants. You know, one of the very last things my dad ever said to me was, "Don't live with regrets. Go after everything you want with everything you got." He knew that regret is a dirty word. Will you live with regret? You might. You might have to if you don't seize the opportunity in front of you. Because I'm handing you the reins to the Profit Siege software that goes out and gets money for you, and deposits it right into your bank account in the form of instantly available spendable cash. I'm also giving you the exact step-by-step tactics that I have developed over the past year which accelerate your income. Even if you've never made a cent online, even if you have no website, even if you have no list, even if you have no experience whatsoever. How about the next time you roll up to your bank ATM, it's jammed with cash? You need $100 today? Run the software. You need $300 today? Run it some more. You need up to $500? Run it even more. You need up to $1,000? Yep, fire up the software and go. And of course, with Profit Siege, there's zero waiting for the checks to be mailed. There's zero waiting for the checks to clear. There's no PayPal payments to worry about. It's all cash right into your bank. Finally, the amount of money you make every day is in your hands. You control it all. I explain everything. I give you the same methods that net me more money in a week than 99.99% of the world makes in months. I hand you my powerful software that automatically funnels cash profits direct to you. There's no questions unanswered, no stone unturned. If there was any question, it would only be this: how do you value something so powerful that it can automatically put you in a brand new tax bracket? I've been trying like hell to figure that out. How do you place a value on a tool that can change your life like this? First, I thought I would see if I could find anything comparable. Kind of like real estate. When you want to know the value of a house, you see what the other houses in the neighborhood are selling for. When I told you there's no other software like mine, well, I was eventually able to find one other program that does some of what mine does. Not everything, but some of it. And here's how they value that: $297 for 1 year of use, and then $147 every year thereafter. You stop paying, you lose access, period. Here you can see the current annual subscription form. My software is a tax bracket changer, and if I wanted to, I could follow their lead and go with an annual subscription too. But I won't. My days at PayPal, I hated taking money away from people. Now I want to give it back. I want to atone, if you will. So, I'm going to let you have my software and the actual methods that I personally milk for up to $35,000 a month as a super affiliate. All of it for just $47. I'm going to let you have access to the entire step-by-step Profit Siege training and my killer tax bracket changing software for $47. Sure, it's worth a lot more, but as of right now, $47 and you're in. No monthlies, just the one-time payment. And look, either you love it or I'll buy it back. I know once you get inside Profit Siege, you'll wish you had this when you first started out and had been able to avoid your previous failures at making money online. But you don't even have to decide right now. Get it today, put my methods in the software to work for you for a full 60 days. If for any reason you decide it's not for you, simply email me for a zero hassle refund in full. That's my promise to you. Now, I'm not exactly known for my interpersonal skills, so if you're easily offended, you may not want to hear this part. I'm a programmer. We're not exactly known for our interpersonal skills. We're the type of people that would rather put our noses into zeros and ones and code in front of our computer for hours a day than actually talk and verbally communicate with people. We like numbers and math because numbers and math are always honest and don't BS like many people seem to do. Which means when I do say something, it's often short, quite blunt, and to the point. So if you're easily offended or like all things candy-coated, then you probably shouldn't bother listening to what I'm about to say. Still with me? Okay, good. So listen, $47 puts the exact methods I personally use to make upwards of $35,000 a month into your own hands. This isn't theory or ideas or concept. This is actual proven methods and tactics, step by step. And the software I built to harness the unlimited traffic of my secret sources and automatically suck in the money. It cost me over $20,000 in cash to build. Of course, I'm including that for you too. This is a legit and easy way for anyone to get blistering amounts of website traffic and make a lot of money every month only putting in a couple hours a day. If you'll let a totally risk-free $47 stand in the way of that, well, then you're not ready to make a lot of money yet. Period. But if you're smart, if you know that $47 is a tiny drop in the bucket to make an easy 6 figures a year, then this is for you. Start right now and you could have cash wired to